Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne. Welcome to your April readings. And for those that are new, especially welcome to you because I love having people stop in and check out my channel and the messages that come through. So I just want to say that I'm doing at least one reading a day. I do read for every single sign, and I've changed it up a little bit for those. I'm going to probably mention it for each sign, but I did have a surgery. I have not recorded readings for 6 weeks, which seemed like 6 years to me, but I'm back and I'm super happy. The surgery went amazingly well. My energy levels are still kind of waning and such, but listen, I'm talking about April. So April is going to be a pretty incredible month for every single sign for many reasons. These are general readings. So let me think of the main things I want to say. Be sure and check out not only your sun, but your moon and your rising or ascendant message, because sometimes you resonate more with those than you do your sun sign. Also, like I said, I'll probably do one reading, maybe two. I did have to miss yesterday. Some things came up. I was away and the timing was such that I'm going to hopefully do the two to make up for it. But anytime you watch the reading is appropriate. And I am a tarot reader of over 30 years and an intuitive. And I also have had an incredible interest in the compatibility between signs and the elements. And so I've studied that for even longer. And it's just fascinating, So what I do is I have what I call my love connection readings. And what I start with is, first of all, we're doing for the featured sign today of Gemini. Beautiful air element of Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is about, movement and continual growth and connection, I would say. Anything having to do with movement a lot of times is associated with Mercury, such as transportation and wheels, our mind, our thoughts, our brain. And that definitely hits the nail on the head with Geminis, because they are the archetype of the teacher and they are so incredibly knowledgeable. I've known a lot of Geminis, and I'm sure a lot of Geminis have known a lot of Geminis. and hopefully you're a Gemini watching, but you can definitely be a cross watcher. But I'm wanting to say that there's just such a quick movement. It's like you have to it's hard to keep up. That energy, you can feel it. I know I always have. And then there's the aspect that they are a mutable sign, which means that they are open to a lot of different possibilities and ideas and expansion and ways to grow and learn and express that. They're amazing when it comes to talking and teaching. That's the archetype, is the teacher for Geminis. They have a duality to them. I have had both brother and sister that are Gemini. I noticed it more for myself in my sister as a duality than my brother, but maybe he was just more, subtle about it or something. I'm not sure. However, both of them are incredibly creative, incredibly talented, multifaceted, incredibly witty, and just, like I said, you want to make sure that you have something you're talking about that doesn't take up too much time sometimes with Gemini, in my experience, because they're often running to the next thought or the next thing. But trust me, I love you, Geminis. I truly do. And I surround myself with you and have my entire life. We just have that attraction as far as the magnetism goes. Me being a fellow air sign, Libra. But anyway, you're the feature sign today. So what I'm going to do is pick what I always do to start, and that is the spiritually guided in front of you connection, energy, other sun sign, which could also be the moon or the rising as well. That's going to be important for you to know about in the month of April. And then I'll mention a few very important astrological, occurrences that are happening that'll affect all of us, but maybe you in some ways more, depending on the variables, such as if you have those particular energies or that particular sign in your chart. You're going to feel it more than someone who doesn't. And you can always look that up for free, at astro.com or Cafe Astrology, my two favorites. So let's pick that right now for you. And help me, beautiful spirit, to pick the right one for the reasons that are for the highest good, for the beautiful Geminis in this world. And you have Scorpio. Ooh, boy. Okay. That kind of gave me a little bit of a goosebump, because we're actually heading into the eclipse season. And the first eclipse of this year will be the partial solar eclipse, which is a new moon on the 30th of this month. And that's what's really kind of cool right off the bat of April, is we have 2 new moons, kind of bookends of the month. Now, new moon, first one being on the 1st of April, which was in Aries, which is our first sign of the zodiac, and which is about starting our new year, really, astrologically, whereas not January 1st, but, well, really March 20th, because it's when, Aries starts. So just this incredible, beautiful, fiery energy that brings us into this month from having been that way from March 20th. So it's just building, right? And Aries is about leadership. It's a cardinal sign. It's about doing and moving and shaking and the spirit and the drive and the physicality that's behind it. You being a great combination for a fire sign, Gemini, as an air sign, because the two of these elements work extremely well together, and they're very compatible, and they tend to just really build upon each other and complement each other's higher energies and just do so much. It's exciting, it's fun, it's motivating. And so that's what we're coming into the month with. Then we have the lunar eclipse, like I said. I'm sorry, the solar eclipse. The lunar would be the full moon, the solar is the new moon. And that's going to be in Taurus, and that's going to be about your personal, wealth and your well-being and your practical things, your tangible things in life, your job, your friends, your relationships, and so forth. And it's going to shine a light on that and start new things in that category. And as a Gemini, you're a very social person. Even if you're not like always outgoing and stuff, you still have this way of just connecting. And there's so many ways to do that with social media. And so that's going to be very much lit up, enlivening happening in this month. But what I also love is there's a full moon Libra. And, we each get a full moon and a new moon in our sign every year. And the Libra is about balance, and it's also your fellow air sign. And it's Venus is the ruling planet of Libra. So there's definitely going to be relationship of all kinds, whether it be business, friendships, romantic, really seeing the light on it, shining the light, and having this incredible feeling of just clarity. Clarity comes into mind very strongly, which is good, because towards the end of the month, we're going to start feeling the shadowy period of the Gemini Mercury retrograde. Yes, Gemini, it will be happening in your sign. And yes, all it really means is to kind of pull in the reins. And as another beautiful astrologist had said, right now, everything is going out. It's like, let's get it happening. Let's make it happen. Let's just grab what we want, get those opportunities, get them in line, get them lined up. It's perfect energy for that. And then when the retrogrades come, it's all about introspection, of kind of letting things settle and reviewing, revisiting all the re's that come into mind and allowing things to come to you at that point. So it's really beautiful energies. I know Mercury retrograde can be a little just alarming, because, is that a word? I always bring up new words in my readings. I'm not 100% sure, but point in case is that it slows things down, and that's not something that somebody of your energy stature would necessarily want to have happen, but it's really important. And my point is, and I am getting to my point about Scorpio, Scorpio's full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse, will happen on the 16th of May. And we will actually be just about 4 days before the, Mercury retrograde, but also eclipses bring in so many powerful things, and they take things out. It could be very quick. It could be something we've been thinking about or working towards for a while, and it's going to make it happen, okay? And Scorpio is about truth and definitely value in the 8th house. It's other people's money, it's relationships, it's inheritances, it's banks, it's institutions working with you. So there's no solo act on a lot of realms this year. I think it's about definitely partnerships. And then Aries, of course, is the polar opposite of Libra. So there always is kind of that connection to the 7th house. And that's a predominance right now happening in the sun season of Aries. And like I said, the new moon that occurred in Aries. So there's, as far as romance goes, I think this would be a very key component month for that. And you're no exception, Geminis, if that's what you choose. And let's face it, there is a very sensual and sexual connotation and connection with Scorpios. And that means everything to them. They're a water sign, they're a feeling sign, they're empathic, you know, they sense things, they have this great intuition, great knowing, and they they're a fixed sign, so they really are steadfast in anything they do, whether it be a work project or a transformation that they know is important for them, and anybody around them is going to be extremely potent this month for you. So you'll know what that is. Right off the bat, one of my best friend Geminis is moving and has bought a home, and it's super exciting, and that is a huge transformation, and it has to do with her husband and herself, and actually even her father-in-law. And so that's other people, you know. Like I said, there's a genuine partnering kind of energy, and it's beautiful. So I won't go into too much more now, but to say that Pisces is in, the sign of Jupiter is in Pisces. I'm sorry, the planet Jupiter, the most beautiful, benevolent, giving, lucky, incredible expansion of things that comes in our sign every 12 years is still in the sign of Pisces. And it's going to bring us all this incredible, notable feeling of love and heart-centered energy. So, you know, Venus goes into the planet of love. Libra's, you know, influence Taurus at the end of the month. There's a lot of Venus coming out. Money, success, feeling good, looking good, energy, just so many beautiful aspects to it. It's going to be in the sign of Pisces, and then Mars goes into Pisces. So there's a lot of Piscean energy too, along with the Aries. So it's a go get 'em, you know, let's make it happen, me kind of energy with let's work with everybody, let's show our love, let's be selfless, let's know that there's always enough, and the more we put out, the more comes back. It's just the law of attraction. It's the law of life, really. So those are incredible, right? Those are amazing energies that I hope will make you feel uplifted even hearing that. And now I'm going to read what I'm going to do, though. I've changed this just a little bit. I like to read 4 categories. I used to have a specific, you know, title for each of them, but now the first one will be the overall energy for the month of April, and the latter 3 will be just the weeks as we go into it. So the first week, which we're still in, and I want to hopefully get all of the readings done for the first week. I'll do what I can for you. Is going to be, and I am using this beautiful Art Nouveau Tarot deck. It is one of my favorites. It has gold on every single card, and it's very vibrant, and I feel the spiritual loving energy come from it, and it was a gift from my son, so it really is really special. So I will ask Spirit to help me and give me the best and most highest influences that you can with the energies coming in for the sign of Gemini. And so for the first week and overall energy for you, Gemini, oh, wow. Well, there's that Scorpionic and Piscean energy straight off the bat coming in, and you're feeling it really well. And it is the 9 of Cups. So the cups represent the water signs, and that's also Cancer. So it's Scorpio, Cancer, and you're Gemini, Pisces. But I already mentioned the Pisces and the Scorpio. You may have Cancer or some kind of water placement in your natal chart, your personal chart, but you also may be very smitten or connected to a water sign. I am so sorry. I kind of went off there, didn't I? I was just trying to forgive me for that. That was real time. Yeah, because your highlighted connection is Scorpio. So wishes fulfilled, bottom line about this. I can go on and on and on like I tend to do. 9 is completion. So there's only 1 cup left for the ultimate in happiness and fulfillment and creativity and all the things. And you know, it's upright. So I don't know what you specifically want, but I have a feeling that a lot of these have already happened, and you're just continually growing this wonderful sense of well-being. And you know, it takes time to reach this place. Sometimes it can come in a heartbeat, out of the blue and so forth. But for you, I feel like it's been a long journey, and it just feels so incredibly fulfilling and whole. And you're such a beautiful, giving, wonderful person, Gemini. You really are. And if it's not like physically giving somebody something, it's your heart, it's your desire, like I said, to share knowledge and information with people so that they can learn something or better themselves. And that's a form of giving as much as anything is, and it's beautiful. So that is absolutely wonderful. That represents to me, your cups are filled with your new ideas and your intentions that the new moons can definitely bring in, but also that beautiful, beautiful Jupiterian. And by the way, Neptune and Jupiter are going to be meeting in exact on the 12th. I forgot to say that, but I don't know why. I have a Pisces rising, and it's hasn't happened in Pisces since 1856. So it's a very, very important, potent. It's about incredible imagination and dreaming up the biggest, the most ever, all the while recognizing that Neptune is definitely the god of the underworld and the unseen and the unknown, and the, you know, the well, rose-colored glasses is always the analogy they use. Being aware and knowing that, but dreaming as big as you possibly can imagine and want, because dreams can happen. They really can. You have to allow yourself to imagine that. And this is a time that it just comes so much easier to do so. And clearly that's the case. So you're well on the way. Second week of April, beautiful Geminis, what do we have for you? The High Priestess. I mean, this is number 2. It's partnership as well, but it's about your intuitive. It's the new moons. Look at that. There's the new moon right there, right at her feet. Knowing the capabilities we all have, the higher, higher power, because we're always connected to Source, and Source is power, and that is a form of God, or whatever you choose to call it. That's what I believe it to be. All that connects us all, you know, and that helps us to create and manifest. It's that beautiful, beautiful energy that's always there, and it'll never be apart. There's never separation, even though it may seem like it at times. This is reminding you that you have that inner voice to always rely on and turn to for the messages and for the guidance, and it could come through dreams. And this also represents Pisces, absolutely. So that's the second, you know, very interesting synchronistic message for you about how powerful this month is going to be in many positive ways. Now, this is a month that has way more positive aspects than other. And so I just want you to really just embrace and take in all of that and allow it, and don't feel like you're taking too much, or, you know, oh, how could I ask for so much? By all means, that's what life is about. And the fact that I myself was one of the people that would think, well, I'll take $1 million. What? I'll take $500 million. Why say one, you know? You can barely get a house for that now. So think big, believe big, open your heart, and let the magic start. Let it come in. The third week, beautiful Gemini, for you in April, is the Seven of Cups. You know what? This has come up, and it continues to, and it has in my own personal readings, because there's a lot of choices. And the thing about this beautiful, once again, watery element of, you know, imagining and creating and manifesting what we want, picking and choosing, is that at any given time, and I know how you are, Gemini, you can be doing two or three things at the same time and not giving it a second thought. Here's my loving, you know, spiritual tip of the day. Focus on maybe one or two. Really narrow down that energy so it's way stronger and way more powerful. It tends to be more in the present that way, and that's when it's very most powerful. So you will have some interesting offers that you may or may not be aware of this moment or have already had. And now you're at the place where you need to sit and not feel rushed, because the whole month will be guiding and with you in a positive way to just kind of really decide on what you want. Because a lot of times, you know, it happens, it comes true. So, you know, depending on what it is you want, is it that shiny new car? Is it the home that I told you my friend is actually making a reality now? It's different for everybody, and no dream is better than the others or not important. It's just, be aware of what you're asking for though too, because you know, you could very well receive it and you want to make sure it's exactly what you really want. Okay, but I like that. I like that a lot. The thing that makes me really resonate with that, as well as this Neptunian, you know, as I said, Jupiter, where everything's a massive, there's just so much, there's so much, you know, what do we do? How much do we take in? What are we really capable of, and how are we going to feel about it? So less is more in this case, but you do have a lot of options. And I absolutely love this. It's exactly the kind of energy that's coming through, and it seems as though you're really, like I said, very in tune with that. How beautiful. And then the last week, with that wonderful solar, you know, eclipse in Taurus, starting out the season of eclipses, and just, I mean, I think it's a beautiful one. Taurus is very grounding, and I know I need to be grounded, because a lot of times I'm way in my mind or, you know, spirituality, to where let's just take it a day at a time. Let's take those breaths. I do meditate every day. I make a point of that without fail, even if it's 10 minutes. It starts my day, and it's made a huge difference in my life, especially in the last 2 years when everything was happening, and it's so easy to get lost in the exterior things of life, right? Your fourth week final card is so beautiful. It's the Three of Pentacles. Now this is the grounding. That is the influence and the perfection and mastering of your goal, your gifts, the creativity you have, because it's going to be super, super strong. I honestly have goosebumps running up my leg right now. 3 is a very beautiful number. It's a manifestation number for sure, but it is a mastering number, and it's about cooperation and collaboration with others. And that's exactly what I spoke about. How it's not about doing it yourself this year. I mean, you are going to have to do things. It's not going to all just come to you. I'm not trying to put that out there to anybody. You do have choices. You have a lot of choices. And, you know, it doesn't mean you have to go run yourself into the ground either. You could do less and receive more. I do believe in that, and it's something that you have to believe in yourself and acquire and put out there in your, you know, your wishes and your aspirations that you've already clearly put out there. But this is a beautiful, beautiful ending with that influence, like I said, that I think is going to help a lot of people financially, maybe physically, like myself. I mean, I had no idea I was going to come along as well as I did, and I'm just so incredibly grateful, and it just keeps getting better, right? It's not going to stop. It's just a continuum in your healing, to where you just recognize and you feel every day, oh my gosh, I'm that much stronger. I'm that much happier, in my opinion, for me. So keep that optimism going. Keep that belief, even in the times that are a little shaky, or, you know, you have something happen that really throws you for a loop. Be strong about that, okay? Because that's very passing as well. That's not a long-term energy. It never has to be. And let go of our thoughts sometimes that aren't really in our highest good is a central message that's coming through. I'm going to finish your reading, though, Gemini, with this beautiful oracle. And the oracles, to me, are a divination that are unsurpassable as far as guidance and upliftment of love and so forth. And this deck I love. It is the Psychic Tarot of the Heart. There's a whole lot of love and heart in the energies, more so than it's been in a really long time. It's always there, of course, but Jupiter in Pisces just really brings it to the forefront, and I love it. I love being in my heart as a air sign as well. So, but this message, you know, it's not in the last two readings, it's been one to recognize, and I love this now that I'm saying it, it's the shadowy part too. It's like everything is just phenomenal with your reading. But Pluto has a big influence this month, and Pluto is the planet of transformation, and it's the hardcore, let's get real, let's get rid of this, let's be honest about what you're capable of and what you're not. Don't fool yourself, don't kid yourself, for the betterment, of course. Nothing is to be feared. It's all about growing, expanding, and so forth, which you love anyway. So there were cards brought up that were reminding you of that. And we'll see what yours has to say. So your beautiful message, wonderfully, I have shaken these. I have shuffled these, but I'll shuffle them a couple more times for you. And see what it has to say, because I love it. And it seems to fit in very well so far. And then I'll finish with the rune if you want to hang out and stick around. And you have release. So that I don't consider that a fear or anything of that nature, but that is just absolutely perfect. That is the Plutonian energy that I just mentioned, and that is going to be extremely strong. And then we've got a couple of, Saturn, I believe Pluto conjunctions that are just really fiery and very malefic, as they call them, kind of energies where, we have to get real. We have to make things right for ourselves. And is it comfortable a lot of times? No, it isn't for me. I don't like anything that isn't, easy or, involves the things about life that aren't necessarily pretty to see or deal with or confront. But it's essential, and you get so much stronger when you do it. You face it head on. Example, I'm doing the real ID, this year, because I always like to do things way in advance. My birthday's in October, so I'm looking into it now. And I went online before doing this reading, and it seemed like a lot. I was like, what? So it took a while, and then I got an appointment, which is great, for next week. And I'm excited to get that done. It's not that fun, though. It's not to me like somebody, oh yeah, I want to go get my real ID. Once it's done, though, it's great. So release, number 13. A very spiritual number in a lot of ways. My brother, may he rest in peace, that I lost. His birthday was August 13th. And he was a magician, a world-renowned magician. And he was amazing. And it was just so perfect for him, right? The 13 and all that. I always found it very lucky. It does equal a 4, and that's stability. So let me read to you what it says further about release. Although it sounds self-explanatory, it is a major arcana when its border is dark. And look at this beautiful, beautiful illustration. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this deck by John Holland. It really touches me and it reaches me, and it's opening the heart right there. Open your heart and just let things go, okay? Things will always come in that need you. You will be given answers, okay? Just listen to them because they are there for us. So 13. The keywords are transformation, shed, end, discard, freedom, and empowerment. An opportunity for renewal around affairs of the heart is available at this time, and it's quite possible that the renewal will happen through release. It's in letting go that you discover what remains, what is truly yours. Sometimes in relationships, you may feel the need to hold on tightly to those you love, whether or not this love is returned. I've been in that situation. I know a lot of people have, and it's interesting because it's important. It's a part of our journey to understand that, right? And I haven't really done that since, which is really beautiful. But I'm also not in a relationship, so we'll see how that works out in the future. You may need to hold on tightly. This can lead to tension and unhappiness for all involved. Even if in a great relationship, holding on too tightly doesn't allow the relationship to breathe, grow, and mature. And that in itself says a lot. It really does. You don't have to feel like you got to be around that person every day and all that. I started to feel that way because I had one of my sons who stayed predominantly with me during my, recovery time. It was phenomenal. I had more help than I could have imagined or really probably even needed, and I knew he had to leave eventually, right? I wish he never did, but he did. So I would mentally prepare for that. Because I could see myself going into this what do they call it? Can't even think of it now. Well, anyway, it was one of those things where I was becoming more attached to the fact that he was here because it was so wonderful and it felt so loving. But, I also knew that it was time when he left, and I'm so grateful to him. I can't think of the term. I know you know what I'm speaking of when I started to say codependent. We could do that. I have that in me, so no need for that, I remember that, all right? Because I know Geminis, you have big hearts. You want to be with, I can think of a lot of Geminis that were very much involved with their partner to the point where they may have lost a little bit of, their own identity and so forth. And, I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but just remember that your life as a whole is so important. And sometimes our relationships with people, they really admire that you have other things going on and things you can do, it kind of takes a weight off of them, I think. Let me pick your beautiful rune in closing and let you know that I have not memorized the meanings, so I pick out the rune and then I'm going to put this back in here. That was from yesterday. And then I use my flashcards because I'm wanting to memorize, and it's one of the best gifts I've gotten because it's so wonderful and it helps me to memorize it. But for now, for you, beautiful Geminis, in closing your reading, you have what looks like an X or an M, but it's not. And I don't remember what it is at all because this one has something in it that's different. And I'll look it up really quickly for you. I don't know if you can see it. Even the M, I believe, that I'm speaking of is an E. It's not an M. It's the Greek alphabet, so I'm almost positive about that. Let's see real quickly. Bear with me. Oh, I see what that is. Okay. Here's the M I spoke about. But this one has something different in it, so it's got a little bit of a difference to it than the M. And it's not an M anyway, but the one that looks like an M. Oh my, is it going to be at the end? Come on now. Where'd you go? Gotta make sure oh my gosh, that'd be weird if it were that. No, the other has something definitely different. There it is. Okay. I haven't seen this one in a while. So I usually pick 2 or 3 a day to try to memorize, and this has not come up. So what it is, everybody, is, it is an M. Son of a gun. This is one of them that does look like an M, but this one has the cross in between as opposed to the other M I just showed you. And it's Manes, and it's rune number 20, and that's 2, and that's partnership yet again. So the theme is humanity, self. Keywords: belonging, society, intellect. Well, there you go. There you are, Gemini. Individual, human nature, humankind. Magical working. Achieving personal growth, building healthy community, intellectual clarity, connect to higher self. Wow. I mean, pretty much everything. It's just community, because there's definitely help in this 3 of Pentacles, wanting to work with you and recognize your abilities and shining a light on that and really giving you some accolades for that. Key phrases: individual members of the whole, social, family responsibility, awareness of one's self, human thought, and rationality. Well, you're all about the thought and making it rational for yourself, Not going into one extreme or the other, but just kind of keeping it real but rational is a really beautiful message. So I hope you like your reading. I enjoyed reading it for you. Come on back, because what I'm thinking is I will hopefully finish these readings by the first week or so, mid-month. And just know that I'm hoping to have up the May in a more timely manner, though I do go back to work mid-month. So we'll see. But I love you, and I hope you have a beautiful month. Please let me know. If you liked what you saw, do me a favor and do a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. It is super helpful to me. It's very supportive. Thank you for everybody that has. I don't want to be redundant, but it is what is required in YouTube to build the channel. And that's what it's all about. It really is. So I greatly appreciate that and share it and push the notification bell. You'll know when I upload, because it does tend to be a little different each day. But I can get on a more regular basis with that, probably when I go back to work and everything as well. So take extremely good care. Thank you for being here again. And until next reading, bye for now.